What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we've got a bunch of new Digimon promo cards to talk about. And I don't know about you, right, but I like talking about Digimon cards, and I like promo cards. So this seems like something we should probably be having a little bit of a chat about. And essentially, according to the lovely folks over at TCG Review, great Twitter handle, you should be following them, they are first anniversary promo packs, and when you purchase 500 yen's worth of Digimon cards, you get one pack, and you get one card per pack. So essentially, you've got a 1 in 6 chance of getting the one that you want. How lovely. So there's one per colour, and let's start off having a look at two which are going to look very similar. We've got Agunimon and Wolfmon. Shout out to both DTCG Review and the lovely Ensan Gaming folks for providing our translations here. I am fans of both of those dudes. So, Agunimon here. What have we got? Well, it's a 5 cost to play normally, 2 cost to Digivolve, 4,000 power. Nothing unusual as a level 4. And when you attack, you may Digivolve this Digimon into an Ancient Greymon from your hand, paying 2 memory and ignoring all Digivolution conditions. Which sounds broken until you read the next sentence, which says, if you did, delete this Digimon at the end of your turn. So this reminds me very, very much indeed of that brilliant zero cost option card that we got in BT5. Mega Digimon Fusion, which said that you could lower your Digivolution cost from a level 6 into a level 7 by 6, which is clearly redonk, but then your Digimon had to go away at the end of your turn. Although that one did at least go to the bottom of your deck, here you get trashed or deleted, which isn't ideal, but you get to Digivolve up into an Ancient Greymon without paying anywhere near as much as you should. Now, if we take a quick look at Ancient Greymon, of course this did come out in BT4, that should be a 5 cost to Digivolve from a level 5. It absolutely should not be a 2 cost to Digivolve from a level 4. So basically what we've got here is a gigantic advantage in terms of Digivolving up, a real brilliantly awesome advantage, but you are going to pay for it. You get a huge advantage straight out the gate, but then it goes away. So that's essentially where you are. Sounds all right to me, ladies and gentlemen, but do be a little bit careful. You're going to lose it at the end of your turn. Now, Ancient Greymon, for each Digimon card in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, you get Security Attack +1. Obviously, if you've Digivolved from a level 4 to a level 6, you will be missing one, so you won't have a level 5 there. But then again, it's really not the end of the world, because, well, you know, come on. You've Digivolved up so much more easily. And when it's deleted, you may play a red level 4 or below Digimon card with Hybrid in its form from your hand without paying its cost. And it does say deleted. It's not when it's deleted in battle with one of your opponent's Digimon or any of that rubbish. It is just when it is deleted. So you get to Digivolve up quickly, you get a big swing with extra security attack, and then you get deleted and play a level 4 for free. That sounds pretty good to me. Oh yeah, and as if that wasn't good enough, we've also got an inheritable skill, whereby when you Digivolve into Ancient Greymon, you reduce the cost by 2. So you would go up into a level 5, the level 5 would have this inheritable skill, and then rather than paying 5 to Digivolve into an Ancient Greymon, you would only actually be paying 3, which sounds pretty good to me, if I'm honest with you. This is one to get a little bit excited about, frankly, ladies and gentlemen. I think the attacking skill is better, obviously, but I tell you what, it's not a bad inheritable skill if you're playing an Ancient Greymon deck. And then we get to Wolfmon, and I mean, Wolfmon's basically the same thing, but for Ancient Garurumon. It's got the exact same stats, 5, 4,000. It's got the same inheritable skill that reduces the cost of Digivolving up to it by 2. And it's got the same skill, kind of, but it is when you Digivolve, You may Digivolve into Ancient Garurumon by paying 1 memory cost, ignoring all Digivolution costs and then deleting it at the end of your turn. So this one is arguably even better. Now, it is a Digivolution, so essentially, rather than Agunimon, which you can just sit there and wait till you've got the card in hand and then attack, Wolfmon, you've got to wait until you've got the card in hand to Digivolve into Wolfmon and then immediately Digivolve up. But this is really good still. An Ancient Garurumon, when attacking, you want to spend 2 of your Digimon that have either Garurumon in their name or a hybrid form. So again, you're only getting 1 attack because then you're going to be deleted at the end of your turn, which is sad. But that 1 attack is going to want to spend 2 of your Digimon to give you essentially 2 extra attacks. That sounds pretty good. And then you've got a deletion skill lets you play a hybrid level 4 or lower blue Digimon from your hand without paying its memory cost. So that's going to kick in when you get deleted. These strike me as very, very powerful cards. And frankly, ladies and gentlemen, I think these are ones we might need to get a little bit excited about. They are promos, but they are hopefully going to be readily available. Just go keep buying stuff and keep getting packs. And then these look good. If you want to play Ancient Greymon or Ancient Garurumon decks, these seem like absolute slam dunk cards. Now, the other level 4 that is available is Tailmon. And here we got a 6 cost to play normally, 2 cost to Digivolve, 5,000 power. Still fairly what we would expect for a level 4. Bit more expensive, bit more powerful, nothing out of the ordinary. But on your opponent's turn, when you have a purple Digimon, this Digimon gains blocker. I mean, there's so many cards that have been released up to now that have been trying to push us into playing a hybrid yellow-purple deck. This is just another one of them. And it's blocker. It's a block. Now, it's not a particularly great blocker. 5,000 power isn't particularly great. 2 cost to Digivolve isn't particularly low. It's not a phenomenal blocker, but it is still a blocker. It's a Digimon that's got the option to block if you're desperate. I think if you really want to go for block, and bearing in mind, right, yellow is not exactly tripping blockers. Yellow does not have a huge amount of options for blocker. You've got Unimon from the starter deck, and then you've got Pitamon, which is your 1 cost to Digivolve blocker, which is clearly a little bit better. But then again, Unimon, you have to lose 2 memory when you attack. This is a level 4 blocker where you don't. It's got 1,000 less power than Unimon, sure, but I would happily take a little bit less power so that I can attack without giving up any memory, because I don't think this is a Digimon you necessarily play as a blocker, because even in a hybrid yellow-purple deck, how certain are you're going to have a purple Digimon out? Because if you're wrong and you don't have a purple Digimon out, you don't have blocker, and if you're relying on it, that's a bad thing. But it still gives you blocker, and it gives you a nice option to block, and that sounds pretty gosh darn good by me. Oh yeah, and when you play it, if your security is 3 or lower, you recover 1 from your deck, i.e. you put the top card of your deck down as an extra security card, which is clearly ridiculous. And it's not exactly something we've never seen before, but in terms of such a little Digimon, this is good. Like the promo Patamon gives you recovery +1, but only when your security is 1 or less. This gives it to you if it's 3 or less, and Patamon was a level 3 and this is a level 4. But having said that, Patamon is a 4 cost to play normally, this is a 6. It's more expensive, obviously, but it's not, like, hilariously so. So that this seems to match up quite well with that. And then we've got Salamon that's got a deletion skill where you get recovery +1 if you got 3 or fewer security cards. And then we've got Loosemon, but Loosemon doesn't really count because it's a 13 cost. So you've got to play one of those awkward cards that lets you play it for free, which is doable. We've talked about them before. But my point is, there aren't that many little Digimon that give you recovery. This is a little Digimon that gives you recovery, and I honestly think it's one we need to take a little bit seriously. This seems like the 2 we looked at before. This seems like 3 in a row here that are genuinely good playable promo cards. I really like this. The fact that it can be a blocker, maybe it is, maybe it's not, but it can be. And the fact that it can give you recovery, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, but it can. This seems like a really good option. Now, the green promo that we have here is actually Palmon. Now, Palmon comes in as 3 cost to play normally, 0 cost to Digivolve, 2,000 power. Very standard, incidentally, for your level 3 Digimon with a decent skill. It's kind of what they do. 1 inheritable skill. When this card is trashed with a Digiburst skill, one of your Digimon gets jamming. Nice! Jamming, of course, being that skill whereby you will not be deleted by security Digimon, regardless of how much you lose the fight by. I love this. Because the thing is, right, we've got a bunch of green options for Digiburst. Some of the best green decks around at the moment are actually playing around with Digiburst. And all of a sudden now, we've just got a really good option. Sunrizemon is looking quite nice coming out of Japan at the moment. I'm seeing a little bit of love. Digiburst 2 to give all your Digimon an extra 2,000 power. And then every time you use a Digiburst skill, one of your opponent's Digimon cannot attack or block for the turn, which seems pretty good. We got the promo Granku Wagamon, which has got Digiburst 2 to give one of your Digimon security attack +1. And then, of course, we've got the Hercules Kabuterimon, which has got Digiburst 2 to rest one of your opponent's Digimon. And that is seeing a whole bunch of play. That Hercules Kabuterimon really is proving to be a very good deck over in Japan at the moment. So you're telling me I've basically got 3 decent options for Digimon with Digiburst, and that's just level 6. There are some lower ones as well. This seems pretty good. Like, if you're playing a Digiburst deck, you're going to be Digibursting away a whole bunch of your Evolution cards, which means you're getting rid of them and you're not really getting anything back. Well, because you're losing any evolution skills you might have had. Well, here, congratulations, you're getting something back. You're getting a bonus. Yes, fine, you're having a Digiburst, but at least you're getting something back from it. And this seems really nice to me. If you're playing a Digiburst deck, I like this. Because then, of course, what you can do is just randomly attack your opponent's stack with some tiny little weak Digimon, knowing that even though you're going to lose a security battle, it really doesn't matter because you can just survive because you've got jamming. If you're playing a green Digiburst deck, this is one I have absolutely got my eye on. Over in black, you've got Sunrizemon, and we got the same stat line here. Free to play, 0 to evolve, 2,000 power. But we've actually got a regular and an inheritable skill. Your standard skill here says that on your turn, all of your black Digimon with 13,000 power or more get piercing. I love this. This sounds absolutely brilliant to me. Bearing in mind, black have got options for beefing up your power, like basically every color tends to do. Although honestly, black a little bit more than some. I mean, we've got the Kabuterimon that gives you an extra 1,000 power if you've got Reboot, but bearing in mind a lot of people playing black are going to be playing Toy Agamon that gives you Reboot. That's just one example. There are plenty out there. Piercing says that when you trash a resting Digimon, you attack a resting Digimon and delete them, you get to also perform a security attack, which is brilliant. Because 13,000 power means actually you are going to be taking out the majority of resting Digimon. Like, as it stands at the moment, the only Digimon that survive are especially powerful level 6s and level 7s. And then you get to do a security check as well. Seems pretty good to me, ladies and gentlemen. That seems pretty good to me. Oh yeah, and it's got an inheritable skill, whereby on your turn, if this Digimon is a black Digimon with 13,000 power or more, you get security attack +1. Now, of course, at this stage, if you wanted piercing, you would have to have a different Sunrizemon on the field. But yes, extra security attack absolutely works with piercing. You go through the resting Digimon, then you activate your security attack, but any extras you should have, you get. And now you got security attack +1. This seems really good to me. Like, really good to me. This seems like the kind of thing I can absolutely get behind. Now, there are some black Digimon that naturally have really high power. Now, in terms of having natural 13,000, the only one we actually see is Blastmon. None of the others get up there. But we've got the Black War Greymon from BT2, which has 12,000 power. Or the Black War Greymon from BT5, which has 12,000 power. So just a tiny 1,000 power boost and you are absolutely good to go. You can easily build a deck here which will push your level 6 black Digimon up over the threshold. They will push them up to 13,000 power. And then if and when you do, you're then going to have extra security attack. Or you're going to have piercing, so you don't have to choose between taking out a resting Digimon or taking out a security card. You can do both. And I just get the feeling this is going to add up very, very quickly into something we can get really rather excited about. This seems like one we should absolutely be keeping an eye on here, because this sounds kind of awesome. So actually, I'm really liking these promos. These all seem like good playable promos. And then we've got another DemiDevimon as well, who really does seem to be trying to fight Agunimon for the most cards printed title. DemiDevimon, again, we got the same 2,000 power stats. When it's deleted as an inheritable skill, if you've got 7 or more Digimon in your trash that have Devimon in their name, DemiDevimon, Devimon, etc., you may play a done Devimon from your trash without paying the cost. Yeah, you see, done Devimon is a 12 cost to play normally, 12,000 power beast of a Digimon, and you're playing it for 0 cost? Like, I cannot be the only one that thinks this looks absolutely ridiculously over the top good. This seems like the kind of skill that could end up becoming a bit too good. Sure, you've got to build your deck to take advantage of it. You've got to have a bunch of Devimon cards to actually use. But if you've got them, this seems a little bit nuts. Now, as a reminder here, done Devimon on your opponent's turn once during your turn. If your security stack is reduced, you trash one of theirs, but bearing in mind, this will stack. So if I've got 3 done Devimon out, and my opponent takes out 1 security, I take out 3. Which seems a bit nuts, especially how easily this can get into play when it works. And when it's deleted, your opponent has to trash 2 cards from their hand. Done Devimon is a good Digimon. And this is an awkward one to use, because you've got to have 7 or more Digimon with Devimon in their name when this is deleted. No, it's not an easy thing to get rolling, but you're talking here about a skill which will play a 12-cost beastly level 6 for nothing. And of course, because you're playing it from your trash, firstly, it can count as one of the 7 in the trash. And secondly, it means that I can just kind of leave it sitting there. I don't need to worry too much. And this seems a little bit over the top good. Yeah, this seems like a ridiculous set of 6 promos. And I need to go over to Japan now and start buying some Digimon product, because I want all of these. These all look amazing. But I want to know what you think about all of them, and I want to know how good you think they are. So let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassy. That's where we talk Digimon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing is always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wassy Plays.